Welcome to this short video of the Getvisibility dashboard showing you how to generate and export results from the backend server, which is the Focus server that is installed. And this short video will show you how to log in, how to do custom queries, and look at the results that have been generated during one or more scans of your documents. So this video will not cover the configuration or the exporting or automation of reports. We will cover that in another video. This one will show you how to navigate the results screen and how to export data that you can use in Excel and in other exported data tools. So we start today by looking at the login screen of Getvisibility, and I will log in using the admin user. Please use the login that you are passed by your reseller or by the Getvisibility staff that support your installation. The dashboard button is in the top left hand corner, is where you go to access all of the results that have been built up during previous scans in your system. If you are seeing zeros here, it means that no scans have been done yet, and we would refer you to the configuration and scanning documentation. So, considering that we have some results here, it's possible to see the detailed results that describe this particular scan. Now, this was a small scan. It scanned 31 files and directories. Out of those, the documents that are valid document types were classified by the Getvisibility software using machine learning, and 25 out of the 31 were classified, which means that of the 25, of the 31, the 25 that were classified would have excluded directories and possibly non-document file types. We also highlight out of the 25 that were classified, how many contained personally identifiable information, and how many were sensitive documents based on the category and subcategory and their content. So this is the result set that we have built up previously on our system by scanning this document set, and I'd like to show you how to generate and view these results. So I'd refer you, in this video we're going to look at this results menu item here on the left hand side, results. So by clicking on that, you're taken to a screen which gives you a tabular view of all the results that have been generated, paginated for 10 lines each page. In this particular case, we've got 3 pages of 10, well, four pages, and you can see that the columns that are available to you include the source, which is the server, usually a file server or a SharePoint server or a cloud drive where the documents were found. In this particular case, it's an IP address, which tells me that it's a Windows file server. It's then the full path of the document, including all the subdirectories and ending in the file name with its extension. So that's your path. You've then got a number of categories that describe this document. And these categories and other columns have been added by the Getvisibility software. And they've built this picture of everything that is in your particular environment. And for example, you can see that the machine learning has looked at the content of these documents, and the content of the documents has then dictated what the machine learning has suggested these documents contain. So for example, this here, testing docs, nist.pdf, this is a technical document, it's a guide, which looks right. Even by the file name, you can tell that that looks pretty good. And so it has a category and a subcategory. The category and subcategory are allocated by the Getvisibility software. This is out of the box, the model that we deploy in every customer, or our resellers will deploy. And if you want to refer to this information, you can use the classification tags menu item. But it's also possible for you to configure this and customize it. So the results and the columns that you see in your table here might be different from what I'm showing you because you've possibly customized it and worked with your reseller to customize these categories and subcategories. Possibly you've added some new ones or renamed some of the existing ones. So those are categories and subcategories. Remember, this is added by the software looking at the actual content of the document. We also detect whether PII information is in the document. So here you see a few documents with that set to true. And then there's some additional columns as well. Sensitivity, which is defined by certain combinations of document types are sensitive and certain aren't sensitive. This again is customized. So whether a document of these combinations is sensitive in your installation would depend on your customizations or your set of changes that you may have made. So in addition, we've got information about who accesses the documents as well. So you can see that there's a show permissions link here, which will take you to the document permissions related to every one of these documents. And if multiple people can see a sensitive document, we classify the risk as high. Okay, so at the moment, everything on the screen is a low risk because we have determined that the number of people that can see this document is low and the risk of them exposing this data or losing this data is low. This will change depending on your environment. You might see high or medium level risks here based on the access. And this will change according to your installation. This is a small lab scan, so I'm not too worried that this is all low. It sounds correct. It looks correct. Then for the other columns, we've got an interesting column here, which is keyword hits. Keywords are special patterns that can be detected in specific files as well. So for example, it looks like we have an example CV here, a curriculum vitae or a resume, and it's classified as HR and CV, which looks correct. It contains PI information, which makes a lot of sense. It'll probably contain somebody's name. It's a sensitive combination of documents and information. So this is sensitive. It should not be circulated openly in any company. I'm sure that that would make sense. And it's low risk because only a few people can see that document. But also at the same time, the keyword hits are telling us that there are 11 numbers, one email address, one phone number. The 11 numbers might be bullets, they might be strings of digits, they might be credit card numbers. And the software has detected that this combination of data exists in this document. Now this is customizable. You may have certain types of data that you want to know about. You might have patent IDs or schematic IDs or product codes or customer IDs or policy numbers that you want to detect, and they would influence the sensitivity of that document. Our software supports that being customized. But in my lab, I'm using the defaults, which are arbitrary numbers, email addresses, and phone numbers. And we certainly have some in this particular document here. Then just to round out the description of this page, you've got the created date and the last open date. So you might notice an odd situation in this particular PDF file. It was created on August the 19th, but it was last opened a long time before that. So these seem to be the other way around. And what this means is that the document was created or initially in a particular repository or directory on or before this date, and was then copied or modified by some process that didn't open the document more recently. For example, it could have been migrated by some software, and that would have changed this particular date. So we show both of those dates. So this is a set of the typical results. You can see some documents, such as this one, were not classified, and there might be a reason for that. Possibly this is a scan, and this particular environment needs a rescan to be done with optical character recognition or OCR turned on so that we can go and look inside that scan document. You can also see that directories aren't currently being classified, and that's something that's on our roadmap. But all the other documents are classified. So you might be interested now in exporting some of this data. So let's have a quick look at the filter bar. This is this section of the screen here, and it allows you to, for example, filter your results into document extensions. You can see that we've got a mixture here of PDFs, you've got some docx's, you've got a text file, and you're able to then filter down using this. You can even filter for directories. You can also filter for the source because you might have multiple servers or multiple places that we scanned. You can then filter from the standard categories which describe this column. For example, we're seeing a few technical documents here. Let's go to technical documents. So what I've done now is I've filtered out all the non-technical documents. And we're seeing a bunch of technical documents here, which is interesting. You're seeing some guides, manuals, proposals, and so on. Seeing a lot of interesting keyword hits. So that's a category filter that I've applied. You can then apply a subcategory as well. And these are all the subcategories that are related to this category, because remember, every technical document has got a subset of technical subcategory documents. If I select financial documents, I will see financial subcategories. And there's another video where we can look at the hierarchy of tags and how documents are classified, whether it's categories and subcategories, whether it's compliance standards, or whether it's classification levels that tell you how to protect your data. In addition, we've got flags here that you can turn on and off, for example, PII. So we're not seeing all that much PII here because of its technical documents. So let's go to HR and see. This is going to be a lot more. Yes, okay. Only 2 HR documents, but they both have, sorry, one of them has got PII in. So this looks like a job description. The second one, which makes sense that it doesn't have PII because it's a template. It's a recruitment document, which makes sense. So you can see that by choosing a filter, you're able to change the amount of data that you see. And you can have a look. For example, business documents will return a different set. Okay, not a lot of examples there. Let's go back to technical. So the other thing that you can then do is filter on only the PII information. And this starts to get interesting now because it's this class of document and PII. But if I clear this, I see all of the documents that were scanned with PII. Now this could be relevant for retention policies and for GDPR or CCPA compliance or other data protection regulations. So this is an interesting option for us to export. It's a list of all the documents that contain PII. Because remember, any export will show these dates as well. So you can go back and have a look and see which PII documents have we retained for too long, or beyond a certain date, or are of a certain age. And this is what the whole goal of today's video is to show you that once you've got your selected filter set of data, you press the export button. And the export button is going to then export a document which appears here as a CSV, comma separated value document. And this CSV document is something that you could open in Excel, which I'm doing now. So it's going to contain all of the columns of the data here. So let's have a look at our Excel that has been exported. So we're seeing the same 6 lines. These are the same results that we were seeing in the dashboard. You can see the path here. You've got your category, your subcategory columns are here. And you've also got some additional information which shows the machine learning confidence in its classification of these different documents. You've got some additional columns as well, including those dates that are really important. And remember, we selected PII, so these are all documents with PII. So this sets you up to do a report on all of the results, all of the documents that have got PII in them, and to look at the dates, look at the paths, look at the sources, and start to clean up your PII information, which is very valuable. So that's where I'd like to stop today. We've shown the results and how to customize a filter and export them to a CSV, which can be opened in Excel. In future videos, we will be looking at the report options for the predefined reports as well as automated reports, and the more advanced landing and analysis page, which allows you to see documents and to dig into them and reclassify them. But that's all for now. Contact your reseller or contact Getvisibility for more information.